Good morning everybody and welcome to today's technical webinar. First of all, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us in today's session. And first of all, I'd like to start off with a few formalities. First and foremost, please can you confirm that you can hear me? If you can't, then please go to the question function in the control panel of the GoToWebinar software. Due to the large number of people joining today's session and for the comfort of other listeners, I will be running this session in listen-only mode in order to minimize any background noise. If you have any questions, please note them down as they come up and submit them via the questions function on the GoToWebinar panel, and we will answer at the end of each section. These will be treated anonymously, or alternatively, we can take any individual in-depth discussions that may be required offline. The presentation slides are available on request, and we will also make available a recorded version of the webinar too. I'd like to introduce you to today's webinar team. First of all, there's myself. My name is Vipul Palmer. I'm the Technical Services Manager here at AIT. I'm joined by my colleague Chris Piper, Senior Technical Consultant from our Technical Services team.
Morning everyone.
We are presenting today the fourth in our series of technical webinars that are aimed at providing our existing and new customers with more in-depth technical details about our products and to empower you to do more with pCounter and maximize its functionality. This session is based on getting more from pCounter functionality with the use of rules and policies to help you with your organization's print strategy. We're going to be splitting up the session into three different sections: an overview of rules and policies and how they can be utilized in pCounter. We will be looking specifically how rules can be assigned to specific printers and how policies can be enforced. We'll also see how the use of messages can be used to provide feedback to users to inform them that a rule has been applied to their print job, and we'll be also demonstrating the live data on our in-house system. We'll finish any questions that may arise as we go through the presentation. One point to note is that throughout our demonstration we are working with the very latest version of pCounter, version 2.72, and some of the features we are going to demonstrate are not available in previous versions. You can check your current version through Help and About in pControl. If you find that the version you have is running behind the latest release, then we can obviously advise on a suitable upgrade path for you, but valid maintenance will be required in order to be able to carry out an update. So I'll just hand it over to Chris now, and he's going to go through pCounter rules.
Thanks Vipul. So first off, we're going to talk about pCounter rules. And what we're going to do is we're going to briefly explain what they can be used for and how the rules are assigned to the printers. We will be looking at the different predefined rules available and also how to specify document naming for pattern matching. And we'll be showing how messages are sent to a user to advise them that a rule has been applied. Now, pCounter rules can be used to allow an administrator to restrict output in order to reduce waste, limit potential misuse or abuse of the printing system, and to enforce the organization's print policy. Here we have a list of the predefined rules available. The order in which the rules are executed is top-down, with unconditional being the most powerful. This rule takes precedence over any of the other rules. The available rules are, we have byte-size rules, page count rules, color, so if the job is or is not color, cost, plot dimension for plotters and large format printers, and the unconditional job move, which we just mentioned. Now the rules are printer based rather than user based, which means they're applied to an individual printer and affect all users who print to that printer. It is possible to apply different rules to different user groups by creating multiple queues to the same device and applying different rules to each, then mapping the relevant queue to the relevant user. And once you apply a rule, you're then able to set the rule outcome. So This is what happens to the job because the rule has been violated. And you can optionally send a message to the user informing them that the rule has been triggered. Examples of some of these available rules outcomes are, we have delete job, pause job, move job to another printer, or do not charge. Now we're going to be looking at the document name pattern matching rules. These are rules which are triggered if the job name contains a certain defined string or keyword. It's defined on the same tab as the predefined rules, but using the radio button at the bottom, the document name pattern matching rule. Radio button there. The rules are dependent on the keyword being in the file name. Typical examples here are you would have http:// for web pages or outbound Outlook for email. However, file extensions are not much use anymore. As you find in recent iterations of Office applications, these are no longer included in the file names, so therefore not in the print job names. For example, MS Word no longer shows as .doc or .docx. It will now be named Microsoft Word hyphen and then the file name itself. So if you were to implement this feature, it would be recommended to test with the file type in question to see exactly what keywords do appear in the document names and then create your rule accordingly. The list of possible rule outcomes is the same as with the predefined rules, so you have delete job, pause job, etc. With the document name pattern matching rules, a fully customized message is also available, which can contain different values, which represents things such as the printer name, the document name. The predefined rules, which we just discussed, have their own list of predefined rules, which are also editable through a different method. Now the messages now. So as I just mentioned, the predefined messages for the predefined rules are accessible through the pcontrol global settings. Each rule comes in two parts. You've got the reason for the message, which is, for example, you've got invalid paper size or above page count limit, and then you've got the outcome of the rule, so what's happened to the job. And the examples are you've got job was paused, job was deleted. To edit a message, you simply click in it and enter the new message into the text box at the bottom of the screen there. Various substitutions are also available, same as the document name pattern matching rules, such as document name, balance, etc. So you can customize the message for the user itself. The pCounter client utility acts as a receiver for these messages and should be running on all client PCs in order for them to receive the messages. pCounter client is, strictly speaking, out of scope for today. However, we can send further information on this should anyone wish. Finally, we have the reject log. Now, pCounter does keep a separate log file containing all jobs that have been deleted legitimately because they have violated one of the rules. This is a reject.log. It's stored in the same location as the usual pCounter log files, which is the pCounter share in the data folder. Okay, so now we're going to see a quick demonstration of the rules which we've just discussed. You should hopefully see a server pop up on your screens there. If not, please let me know via the message panel. So firstly, we're going to enable the pCounter reject log. Now the setting for that is accessed in the global settings. So you highlight your server name, hit the pCounter button, and we now have the log rejected tick box down there. Just tick it and click apply. So now any jobs that have been legitimately deleted by pCounter will be added into the new reject log file. So to apply a rule, we need to open up the configuration for a specific printer. So if we go to the Printers tab, find our printer, right click and edit pCounter configuration, and then we have the Rules tab here. And you should see the list of predefined rules which we've had a screenshot of earlier. First rule we're going to apply is a page count rule. If page count is less than 2 pages, we will delete the job and we'll also send a message to the user. Click OK to that. And if I double click the printer, we'll see there the printer properties. I can send a quick test page through here. You should see there, deleting below page count limit. You'll also in a few seconds see a message pop up from the system tray. There we go. We'll remove that rule now. And we've got another rule. If job is colour, we will pause the job. Again, we'll send a message to the user so they know what's going on. See that job is paused, and again we should see the message pop up in the system tray. There we go. Just delete that rule. So they're the predefined rules. We also have the document name pattern matching rules, controls for which are down here. If we click add rule, we can create our new rule. So we're going to restrict web pages. So we'll put in HTTP with 2 T's and a quick message in there. So now if I try to print from Internet Explorer, we should find that that job is deleted. And there we go. And you see the customized message as well. It's going to show the messaging as well. We can change the individual messages for the predefined rules. So we have under message text, we have here job was deleted, your job was deleted. So what we'll do is we'll just add a quick %u at the start of this message to include the username in the message. If we send another test print from Internet Explorer, we should see the same message pop up with the addition of the username. There we go. Finally, we're just going to take a quick look at the rejet log. So that's accessed through Pcant Administrator. A utility menu and open log file. We have the rejet log there. You can see here the list of all the jobs that have been deleted, and then the reason for the deletion here. Below page count limit, and then pattern match for HTTP. Okay, so that's a quick demo of pCounter rules. Do we have any questions? Okay, so we have a question here. What's the purpose of the unconditional job move? Now, the unconditional job move is to be used in a situation where a particular printer is down and the admin user wants to move all jobs to another printer until the problem is resolved. So it's kind of a troubleshooting rule to stop jobs from backing up in a queue when you know a particular printer is down. Okay. Now, I've got another question here. We use pCounter for pull printing and have rules on our MFDs, but the users never see the messages. Is there anything we can do about this? Right, unfortunately, due to MFD limitations, we're unable to display these messages on screen when a user releases a job. There's just very often there's no facility within the MFD itself to display a custom message to the user. What we would recommend in this situation is that you would set up what we call a 2-tier queue structure for your pull queues, a visible and a hidden queue, and you would apply the rules to the first of the 2 queues, so then the user is still at the PC when the rules applied, and then therefore they get the message. If you'd like any further information on set up the 2-tier queue structure, we've got lots of documentation on that we can get in touch with. Okay, another question. Is there a possibility of a pop-up box rather than a Windows notification in the corner, as we're removing these because users are getting confused with pop-up? Now, unfortunately, no. We use the built-in messaging facilities of Windows, and that's what it does. It does the speech balloon from the corner. The old version of the messenger service used to do a pop-up box. The modern version does use the speech balloon, so I'm afraid we are limited with that. Okay. Are there any more questions? No more questions? There will be an opportunity at the end of the presentation to ask any further questions if any pop to mind. If there are no further questions right now, we'll move on to rules and policies.
Okay, so we'll now look at policies and how the built-in p-counter policies can be, how they can be defined, how they can be used to force duplex, force black and white, deny access, either by user group or document. For example, web pages do not always need to be printed as colour. Now, these policies can also be considered as part of an organization's print strategy to save costs. Okay, so in terms of p-counter policies, we can apply the policies to force duplex, colour to grayscale, or completely deny access to a printer. And this can be done to a document, user, or can also be set at AD security group level. We'll also be looking at paper size restrictions. p-counter can be set to restrict any paper sizes which the printer itself does not support. The benefit of this is that printers will often lock up asking for a paper size if someone sends a job through on a paper size which the printer does not currently stock, and consequently the printer is effectively out of action until someone deletes the job from its memory. With paper size restrictions, the only outcome is to delete the job. It's worth mentioning that if your organization uses p-counter pop-up or client for confirmation or client code selection, paper size restrictions come into force before triggering pop-up. All other rules are actioned after pop-up is responded to. Finally, we have two minor but very useful features. These are delete duplicate jobs. This is a printer-based setting which will delete any new jobs sent to a print queue if it matches any of the existing jobs in the queue. The fields checked are to match the job owner, the document name, and byte size. This feature is intended primarily to stop impatient printing when a user clicks print multiple times in an effort to speed up their printing. What we also have is an option to delete pause jobs, which allows you to set an upper threshold on a lifespan of all pause jobs on the server. After the limit has been reached, the job will be deleted. This is particularly useful to enable on pull queues in a pull printing environment. This can be set either globally or on an individual printer basis. Now we're going to have a demonstration of the p-counter policies. So now we'll demonstrate the p-counter policies on our server. So as with the previous rules, we set the rules via p-control. So I'll highlight the server, click the p-counter button, go to our printer, and then go to edit p-counter configuration. First rule I'm going to go through is the first policy I'm going to go through is paper size restrictions. Our printer is currently set to print A4, so what I'm going to do is uncheck all sizes apart from A3, and the only paper size that will be allowed to print is the paper size that is ticked, so A3 in this case. I'll just send something to print now. And we'll see on there that it's deleted due to an invalid paper size, and that should also notify us in the system tray, as we can see. Okay, I'll enable the other paper sizes now, and that will allow us to print these particular ones. So if we were to print A4 now, then that would be printed and recorded in our pCounter log file. Next option I'm going to show you, next policy I'm going to show you is delete duplicate jobs. So in order to enable delete duplicate jobs, we go to our printer, edit pCounter configuration, and on the settings tab we've got a tick box here to delete duplicate jobs. Now our printer here at the moment is paused. When I resume the print jobs, only one of them will be printed. So I right click resume, and then we can see on there that duplicate print jobs were deleted. What we can also do is look in our reject log file to make sure that these jobs have actually been deleted. So we open up the log file as Chris did previously, and we'll see on there that paper size A4 has been deleted, as has a duplicate job. I'm going to go through denying access. So if we choose our pCounter printer as we did previously and edit pCounter configuration and go to policies, then what we can do at this point is force duplex. So we can force duplex on a per user basis. So I can force duplex for Chris when he's logged on to the server, or alternatively we can add a particular group of users. In this case, if we look in pCounter administrator, I can choose domain admins, so I can add that user group to this list, and that will force duplex for these users as well. What we can also do is add a document. So if we were to force web pages to be printed as duplex, then we can put in http:// and that will also force that particular type of document to be printed as duplex. What we can also do is enter a wildcard. In order to do that, all we do is add an asterisk, and that will allow us to look at all users, all groups, okay, so if we were to add a wildcard, then we can only add in users or groups. We can't add both because the asterisk applies to all users or all groups. Now, in order to remove any of these particular groups or users or documents from the list, all we do is right click and remove. Now, for the purposes of our demonstration, we'll just show you the deny access options. Now, if we go to convert from color to grayscale, then we can again add in the user, the group, or document. It works in the same way as the force duplex. Now, in order to deny access, we can also perform the same action. So what I'll do is I'll remove all of these groups and users, and then I'll just re-add a single account, single username into this list. One point to note is that in order to deny access, this is based on user or group, but not the actual document. So after we add the user, select OK. Okay, so we'll just demonstrate the deny access policy now. So if I send something to print to our printer, then we'll see on there that it's been deleted due to the policy. And we can see that the pCounter client has received the notification in the system tray. Now, final policy I like to go through is to delete jobs after X number of minutes. We have two settings here. There's a global setting to delete pause jobs, or alternatively delete all jobs after X number of minutes. The reason why we've got all jobs is because some jobs may not be in a paused state. So we can put a value in there. Alternatively, we can set that at the individual printer level. In order to do that, we go to our pCounter configuration as we did previously, and then right click and edit to pCounter configuration. We'll see on there to delete pause jobs after X minutes. We can either use the server default, or we can override that setting and enter a specific setting for that particular printer. So after 10 minutes, our print jobs that are paused in this queue will be deleted. And again, all this information is recorded in the pCounter reject log file. I'll just open up the reject log file so that we can look at these particular print jobs that have been deleted. So if we look in there, we've got old jobs that have been deleted, duplicate jobs that have been deleted, and invalid paper size, which we mentioned previously. So that brings us to the end of our demonstrations. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. Okay, so we have a question about can duplicate jobs only work on a pull queue? No, duplicate jobs policy can be applied to any particular print queue as long as the document name, byte size, and owner of the document is the same. So that brings us to the end of our technical webinar. I hope you found this session useful. We appreciate you taking the time out to attend today's session, and we hope that you found this an informative presentation. You can find further information like installation and how-to guides on our website. If you require any support, then please email us on support@altman.co.uk, or alternatively you can call us on our telephone number that's displayed on the screen there. In the future, we'll be running further technical webinars, so if you have any suggestions of a particular topic you would like to see covered, then we'd love to hear from you. We also appreciate your feedback, so if you have time to complete the feedback questionnaire at the end, that would be great. We will now take any further questions. Okay, so we have no further questions. Thank you for attending today, and hope to see you at a future webinar. Thank you.